Most people aren't broke because they don't earn enough. They're broke because every dollar they earn has somewhere to be before it even lands in their account. Rent, car payment, that subscription you forgot you signed up for in 2021, the credit card that somehow never gets smaller no matter how many times you pay it. And somewhere in the middle of all that, you, hoping something's left. Here's what nobody tells you. The paycheck isn't the problem. The system around the paycheck is. And the people who are quietly building real wealth right now, not the ones flexing on Instagram, but the ones who actually have it, they've built a different system. A set of habits so automatic that wealth isn't a goal for them anymore. It's just what happens. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what that system looks like. And I'll tell you the one habit that took someone from paycheck to financially free in under 4 years. But we're not starting there. We need to go somewhere else first. Because there's a question most people never ask. And not asking it is exactly why they stay stuck. The question is this: where does your money go in the first 72 hours? Think about the last time you got paid. Really think about it. What happened to that money in 3 days? If you can't answer that clearly, that's the gap, not your income, not the economy. That 72-hour window is where most financial futures get decided. The first habit that separates wealth builders from everyone else is the pay yourself first system. And I mean the real version, not the watered-down advice you've heard before. This isn't about saving what's left. There is never anything left. This is about moving money to a separate account before you pay a single bill. The moment your paycheck hits, even if it's $50, even if it's $200, the amount isn't the point. The habit is. When you treat savings like an expense, something non-negotiable, something that happens automatically, you stop negotiating with yourself. And that negotiation is where most people lose. The second habit is the one that sounds obvious, but almost no one actually does. Know your real numbers, not in your head. On paper, or a spreadsheet or an app, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you see it. Here's why this is uncomfortable. Most people have a vague sense of what they earn and spend, but they avoid the exact number, like it's a diagnosis they don't want confirmed. And that avoidance is expensive. When you actually sit down and look, like really look, you find things. A 17-a-month app you haven't opened in a year. An annual fee that hits every March that you keep forgetting. A food spend that somehow jumped 40% in 6 months without a single decision attached to it. Clarity is the first form of financial discipline. You can't fix what you refuse to see. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because habits 3 and 4 work together in a way most people never connect. Habit 3. Automate everything that matters. Bill payments, transfers to savings, contributions to your retirement account. The moment something is automated, it stops requiring willpower. And willpower is the most exhausted resource you have. By the time you get home from work, make dinner, scroll your phone for 20 minutes, and remember you were supposed to transfer money this month, it's gone. Automation makes the right decision the default. That's not laziness, that's engineering. Habit 4. Kill the invisible leaks, the subscriptions, the convenience spending, the $8 coffee that isn't about the coffee. It's about the feeling of treating yourself on a rough Tuesday. These aren't moral failures, they're patterns, and patterns respond to awareness. Go through your bank statement this weekend and highlight every recurring charge. You will find something that surprises you. I promise. Drop a comment right now. Tell me how much money you've spent this year on subscriptions you barely use. The number is always more than people think. Let me tell you about a guy named Daniel, 28 years old, software engineer, making decent money. By any external measure, he was doing fine. But his savings account? Nearly zero. Every month felt like treading water. He wasn't buying luxury cars or taking extravagant vacations. He was just spending. Convenience food 3 times a week, 2 streaming services, a gym membership he used 4 times since January, Amazon purchases he couldn't fully recall making. Daniel discovered something called a spending freeze. Not forever, just for 30 days. No discretionary spending outside of food and bills. And what happened wasn't just that he saved money. He broke the reflex. The automatic reach for the card every time he felt bored or stressed or entitled to a reward. That 30-day reset is habit 5, a periodic spending freeze that resets your default mode. It's not about deprivation. It's about interrupting autopilot. Habit 6 is where things start to compound. And I mean that literally. Every dollar you are not investing is losing value. Slowly. Silently. Inflation is not a financial news concept. It's the quiet erosion of everything you work for. A dollar sitting in a regular checking account today will have less purchasing power in 5 years without you doing a single irresponsible thing. Brian Featherston Hawes' research into long-term spending behavior shows something striking. People consistently overestimate how much they'll spend in the future on big purchases and underestimate how much their small daily patterns cost them compounded over a decade. The math is ruthless. Small amounts invested consistently over time do something that feels almost illegal when you watch it happen. Start with whatever your employer will match in your 401k. That's free money with a guaranteed 50% to 100% return on day one. And if you're not taking all of it, that is the single most expensive habit on this list. Habit 7, build the income floor before you build the ceiling. This means having 3 to 6 months of expenses in an account you do not touch. Not to grow it, not to invest it, to protect everything else. Most financial collapses, and the ones that set people back years, happen because one emergency meets zero buffer. One car repair, one medical bill, 1 month of unemployment. And suddenly the investment account gets raided, the credit card gets maxed, and you're starting over. The emergency fund is not exciting. It doesn't make you feel wealthy, but it is the single thing that keeps a setback from becoming a spiral. Habit 8, stop upgrading your lifestyle every time your income goes up. This one is quiet and brutal, and almost nobody talks about it. You get a raise, you get a bonus. And within 3 months, your monthly expenses have expanded to consume exactly that amount. It happens automatically, socially, almost invisibly. Your friends earn more, so you spend more. You feel you deserve better and maybe you do. But lifestyle inflation is the reason people earning $150,000 a year feel as financially stretched as they did at $70,000. Every income increase should be split. Part to lifestyle, yes, you earned it, and part immediately redirected to building. Lock in that ratio before the upgrade happens, not after. Habit 9. Learn to use debt, not be used by it. There is a version of debt that builds wealth. A mortgage at a reasonable rate, a business loan on a cash-flowing asset. And there is debt that quietly destroys it. 24% APR credit card balances. Buy now, pay later patterns that obscure the real cost of everything you own. The difference isn't the debt, it's the direction it's moving. Towards something that generates value or away from money you haven't made yet. And then there's the habit nobody mentions at all. The one that actually changed everything for the people who built real wealth. Habit 10, protect your attention like it is money, because it is. Every ad you see is designed to manufacture a feeling of lack. The financial comparison trap is not an accident. It's the business model. And the moment you start buying things to manage your feelings about money, instead of building with money, the whole system inverts. The people who have quietly become wealthy, not loud wealthy, but free wealthy, they've done something almost countercultural. They've decided what enough looks like, and they've stopped chasing the number beyond it. Not because they gave up, because they understood that the purpose of money was never money. It was options, time, the ability to say no to things that cost them more than they paid. That's what these habits build, not just a bigger bank account, a life where your paycheck works harder than you do. And that starts, not next year, not next paycheck. It starts with the next 72 hours. If this hit different, subscribe and share this video to your loved one who need this. See you in the next one.